Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Hello and welcome to this video. Before we get started, I'd like to thank all of the subscribers to the channel, all 78 of you. Thank you very much. Your time to take and watch these videos is highly appreciated. Thank you very much. Whether you have one set of videos that are your favorite, or if you like them all, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all of them, none of them, well, none of, if you don't like any of the videos, why would you subscribe? I don't know, unless you're a government agency spying on me, but it is what it is. That's a joke. I'm not that paranoid. That's just a joke. Clarify that for everybody, that's a joke. But like I said, thank everybody. Hope everyone's enjoying their little slice of life. And, well, we'll get into the video. Rabbits, Season 2, Episode 10. The Visitor Brings the Game. We are building up to a crescendo. We're going to see how this goes and how this plays out.
Violet? Yeah, I see them. Get in.
We scrambled into the Range Rover and pulled out, just before the black sedans were able to box us in.
The people in those cars, were they wardens? I don't know.
Were they wardens or were they MIB?
In Season 1 of Rabbits, Carly experienced gray things moving in the shadows, closing in as she moved closer to finding her friend Yumiko.
I think Carly is convinced that part was probably the drugs.
Okay.
Maybe not so much the drugs.
Hey, but...
But what?
But what if I've experienced gray things?
They showed up when you played that game called At Night. When you hid in that bathtub, when you discovered the doll with the impossible eyes.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy.
My Blythe doll, yes. I really did listen to this podcast.
Of course I did. This is really happening, Riley.
What's interesting, just a side note, the very first time I was listening to this, at the beginning when it was introducing her dolls when she lived in Korea and all that, I was also reading Nosferatu, and there's a sequence of dolls and children that I was reading at the same time that I was reading the novel and listening to it on the podcast. And there was a couple days where everything just kind of blended together. It was kind of weird. I was reading Nosferatu by Joe Hill, who is a very, very talented horror writer. I mean, then again, look at who his father is. So, just a side note.
Yeah, sometimes it feels so out there that I forget.
Well, don't do that. Don't forget. We're going to need to stay sharp if we end up finding the Traveler.
What's going to happen then?
We do not know. Or I don't think they even really know.
Then we're going to play his game.
And that may or may not be a bad thing.
We took the 95 north to Corn Creek Road, and soon we were driving along some pretty rugged terrain. A sign on one of the small gravel roads read, "No water or services for the next 70 miles.
There's actually in West Texas, places you'll see signs like that. If you're traveling, like you're heading toward those other states in the West, and New Mexico, I think they call it. They go. You have spots that you no gas, no nothing. You know, this is your last chance for the next 70 or 100 miles. Get it while you can.
A message on the printout of the directions Carly had downloaded read, "If you get lost or run out of gas, you die."
That's never a good thing, you know. Kind of fond of being alive.
We parked at the end of something called Cow Camp Road and started walking the mile or so toward the graphic of the crown marked on the map. Okay, we're lost.
Yeah. That's easy to do in the desert.
No, I'm sure we've just entered this section here.
Well, I'm sure we've entered that section there twice already.
No way.
How much water do we have left?
Enough.
Really?
Enough, really?
It's going to be dark in about an hour, so I don't think water is going to be an issue.
Until tomorrow morning.
We're not going to be here tomorrow morning.
Why not? Eaten by wolves?
We'll be in a bar, eating cheeseburgers and laughing about beating the Traveler and maybe even winning the game.
Hey, you know, you gotta have high hopes.
You don't think that feels a tick optimistic?
Let's keep moving.
Fine, but it's this...
Moving. Gotta keep those. Sunk in some dire straits there for a second.
way.
Are you sure?
Yeah, only 100%.
You don't have to be an asshole.
Really? I think maybe I do.
I've had conversations with people like that.
We walked for another 10 minutes before we finally found it. It didn't look like much at first, but once we'd traversed a low hill, we could see the entrance. We'd probably passed it at least once while we were wandering aimlessly through the endlessly familiar terrain.
Yep, that's desert. A forest, believe it or not, the pine forest here in East Texas can be like that because all the trees are pine trees and they all look alike.
But there it was, the cave with the M-shaped opening. The water cave.
Fuck me.
Water cave. That's... could be good, could be bad.
Finally.
What now?
Now we're going in.
Shouldn't we maybe formulate some kind of plan?
Probably should, but you know, what the hell. Live a little.
Like what?
I don't know, it feels important, like we've been looking for this thing for so long.
Fine. You want to say a prayer or some shit? Let's go.
Come on, you don't have to be an asshole.
That's the spirit.
You gotta love it.
The two of us held hands and entered the cave. The cave walls had been roughly hewn into some kind of dark gray rock. Or maybe the cave was naturally occurring. It was hard to tell. The floor was almost perfectly flat.
Yeah, I mean, if it's perfectly flat like that, it's probably some human intervention.
But again, we couldn't tell if it had been flattened by people walking or formed that way naturally.
I would go with walking, just me.
We used the flashlights on our phones to guide us as we moved deeper into the earth.
Don't do that. Even in 2024, the flashlight on your phone zaps your battery.
What was that?
I don't see anything.
Yeah, that's because it was a noise.
I didn't hear it.
Uh-oh. Not good.
Are you sure?
Let's just keep moving.
Moving.
Shh.
What?
Listen.
Do you hear water? Must be an underground stream or something.
Could be.
In a cave in the desert?
Well, didn't one of your weird stories call it the water cave or something?
Has a point.
It's not the letter M, it's the Egyptian symbol for water, right?
There.
Violet was pointing to the remnants of some kind of metal door.
Uh-oh. This can't be good.
I was reminded of the audio file that Sandra Cito had found via a link in a YouTube comment. In that clip, a woman was walking through a cave blindfolded, being led by a man's voice on a phone or a walkie-talkie. She eventually comes to some kind of locked metal door that she opens by turning some kind of device.
Some kind of device. Probably a door handle. That's kind of device. Or the big round things like you see on like submarines and naval ships.
What we were looking at was a metal frame that looked like it may have contained a secure door at some point, but had been long destroyed by something.
Kind of, I'm picturing in my brain like underground bunkers for like nuclear war type thing.
We moved through the doorway into an empty concrete bunker of some kind. At the far end of the room was a set of stairs leading down into another cave.
Yeah, go deeper into the cave because that's always a good thing. Especially when all you have for light is cell phones.
Although the stairs had clearly been carved into the stone at some point, I had the feeling that the walls of the cave had probably been formed naturally.
Yeah, that's probably a safe assumption.
So many stairs.
It can't be that much longer.
Please don't jinx it.
Yeah, that's not mean anything because saying don't jinx it doesn't mean anything because the number of stairs are the number of stairs. That's not going to change.
My phone is gonna run out of batteries if I keep using the flashlight.
There we go. We have LED flashlights that fit in your pocket that put out 4 times the light that flashlights 20 years ago, 30 years ago put out. So yeah, it is what it is.
Mine too, but the woman on the recording Sandra Cito sent me said there's some kind of moss on the walls that glowed.
Well, there's moss here.
That could be interesting. Could be fun too.
Turn off your light.
Okay.
Whoa.
That's freaky.
And with that, we'll go ahead and call this video good here. Thank everyone for listening. Thank for everyone that listens to all the videos. And until next time, be a good human. Be good to other humans. Peace.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?